Oh, you see it already. Hello, Miss Julie. How are you today? Right now, I just have you on Q&A, but I will bring you on. Is your video and audio and all that working? Are you on internet? You can just answer me in the chat. Internet. Yay! 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 Well, I'm waiting for Paula. She should be on in a minute. But I'm glad you love this quote because then I have another quote that you're even going to love more. It should be working good today. Well, hopefully it's working good today, and hopefully everything here is working good today. It's good to see you. I'm going to bring you on in a little bit. So let me just get everything ready on my stuff. Yeah, I can promote you to panelist, which is probably what I'll do first. I'll give Paula just a couple seconds to come on, and then I'll start with my exciting news for the day. I always have exciting news, you know that. And let's see, are you telling me anything else? Let me look in your little chatting. Okay. Oh, yay, Paula's here. Hi, Paula. Hello, Paula. Can you see me and hear me? Can you just answer me either in the chat or the Q&A, either or? Either. I think the chat's actually a little bit easier. So I kind of like the chat. Can you see me and hear me, Paula? Paula, Paula? From Julie to all panelists. Don't see Q&A. Okay, Paula can. Q&A, Julie, is at the bottom where you see chat. There's also something that says Q&A. Do you see that? Oh, now I do. Good. Okay. Well, I'm going to start by saying hello and welcome again. And it's been a few weeks. And so I've really been thinking about what I wanted to cover based on some of the emails that I was getting from you guys. Oh, from Julie. Did I have a great vacation? Hope you had a great vacation. You don't have to hope I had a great vacation. I had a great vacation. And I'm going to tell you all about it if you want to hear about it, but it was really amazing because I went to the Azore Islands. I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and it didn't even look real. It was so fantastic. But I digress. So let me just tell you a little bit about what I want to talk today. Because I first started out with this quote, and I don't know if you've heard it or not, but a lot of times, like what I talk about is once you know, you can't not know, which isn't really good grammar, but it's really the truth. It's like once you know something, you can't not know it. It doesn't really matter if you ever write it down. It just doesn't matter. Once it's in your brain, what you know, you can't not know. So you never have to worry about, oh my God, I didn't write it down. I should have written that down. You never have to worry about that, especially if you're coaching with me or you're on this call and you go, darn, I forgot to write that. What did she say? It's okay, but I want you to know your brain's picking up everything. And once it knows, you will always know. You can't not know what you don't know, and you can't know what you don't know. But the other thing that I was really thinking about, it's like in our most spiritual self, in our heart and our souls, we know so much more than we even give ourselves credit for. And this knowing, I think, as our mind gets busier and busier, we find that we know less because we're less connected to ourselves because our mind is so busy. So, part of the work that we're always doing together is to be aware of what is going on in our minds and deciding if we like what we see or what we don't like what we see. And then the other thing is that once we learn how to calm our minds down, what we know becomes so much more clear. So, all the work that we've done together has so much to do with this. It's how to clean the mind, clear the mind, and quiet the mind. And I think from that is where really positive emotion comes from. So, I was thinking about Maya Angelou, and I was really thinking about this quote because I've used it so much in my life over so many things. And it's really goes with self-compassion because a lot of us, and that's why we're reading Self-Compassion with Kristen Neff, that's why it appealed to you so much, Julie, is because whatever you've done in your past, you may look at it now and go, why did I do that? But when you were there doing it, it's because that's what you knew. You were doing your best. And now that you're here and you know better, you will do better. But you can't go back and punish yourself for something that you did because you didn't know any better. I just love that because self-compassion can come from that. So I really want you to be aware of that as I'm talking to you. And then the other thing I want to bring up, I got another quote from Kristin Neff, and I want to bring that in from her first chapter. Oh, let me just tear it off. And this is just in the last page of chapter 1, but I loved it so much. She says, when we soothe ourselves or our agitated minds with self-compassion, we're better able to notice what's right as well as what's wrong, so that we can orient ourselves toward that which gives us joy. And I think we all are big supporters of creating joy. And I love this because the more we can see clearly, the more joy that we can create. And the other thing that she said in the book right after this, that I didn't write it down, but I still love it. She says this, in many ways, self-compassion is like magic because it has the power to transform suffering into joy. So, we all love joy. You know that I worked a lot with both of you on creating joy. And now I want us to look at it from a self-compassion point of view of the more compassionate we are with ourselves, the more able we are to create joy, the more that we can accept what is without wishing it were different, the more that we can create joy. So that's what I got for you today to start this out. So what I want to do from now is I'm just going to bring on Paula first because I got questions for her first. And I'm going to start coaching her. And then from there, I'll bring you on, Julie, and you can add or subtract from anything that I started talking about with Paula. But right now, it'll be just me and Paula, and you get to be the observer of whatever it is that we're talking about. Okay, is that good with you, Julie? Can you just say okay if you got it and you're good? Yeah, no, you can't. I can't hear you yet, Paula. I'll bring you on in a minute. I'll tell you how we're going to do it. I think I got it down. Okay, Julie, you got it. All right. So, Paula, what I'm going to do with you is I am going to promote you to panelist. And you can turn on your video. You should be able to turn on your video.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Can you turn your video on?
It says the host cannot start video because host has disabled it.
It says that again.
Yeah.
Turn.
That's okay. I'm not looking real good today.
Oh, good. So would you rather just be talking to me?
Yeah, but
is this
we need
perfect?
To figure that out. You're right. We should figure that out soon. I don't know why.
No, I know you don't know why, and you don't have to know why.
Okay.
It's not your job. Wait a minute. Wait a minute here. I think I got it. Try it again.
Okay.
There you are.
Here I am.
I see you, sweetheart. It's so good to see you.
You too. Can Julie see me?
Julie can see you too. Julie, can you see Paula and can you see me? Yes.
I see you. Yep.
Yep. And I can put it, yeah, I've got it in gallery view right now. So that's perfect. So you should be able to see both of us when you get the rewind.
Okay.
When you get the recording.
Sounds good.
All right. So tell me what you got, because here's the reason I'm bringing you on first. It's because you haven't talked to me much in email about anything that you're really wanting.
Yeah.
Which has my curiosity.
Okay.
And
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I know you just had a surgery, and Julie doesn't not know that, but you just had another surgery and it went well.
It did.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so kind of tell me where you're at this point from the surgery, and then tell me what you think you might be needing.
Okay. So I think I emailed you after our last, group meeting.
Yes, you did.
I emailed you once to tell you that I had totally gone off track.
Yes, you told me that.
Well, not totally. That's a little exaggeration. But I
That's
was
good
not
that
on
you catch
protocol.
yourself. Okay, so you
Yeah.
went off protocol. Uh-huh.
Taking my daughter back to college,
Yeah.
across country, 1,300 miles. And then I was leading up to this surgery, which happened last Friday.
Yep.
And so I was really trying to stick to my protocol. And in general, I did well. I ended up losing a couple more pounds prior to surgery, which puts me like, close to 15 pounds lost.
Is
But
that
then
fast enough?
yeah, that's actually, we've talked about just trying to make it not worry about the timing so much, but
I know.
just, yeah, and that's fine. Like, I realize my body has been put through hell the last year and a half now.
Yeah.
And so it's my body, I just need to forgive, how it's reacting, because I'm really fortunate, post cancer, to be where I am and being healthy enough to go through these surgeries for reconstruction. So,
Uh-huh.
but the surgery was quite a doozy
Was it?
last week.
Mhm.
And I was leading up to the surgery trying to get everything done from work. So the week prior to surgery was a little bit too hectic, and I really couldn't focus on, me per se. But now here I am. It's
Wait, so
5
let me
days.
stop you. Let me stop you for
Yeah,
just a minute.
yeah.
Okay, so when you tell me because you were so busy the week before surgery,
Trying to just get everything done at work, and
exactly,
making
but
sure I had what I needed in the house, and, all
correct.
that stuff.
But my question to you is, why does that make you think you can't focus on yourself still?
It just, I tend to think that, like, there's this list, in my head that
Mhm.
has to be done before surgery, because I can't drive for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And I thought, so I was rushing to get all my work done,
Mhm.
you know, um, just to, yeah, I don't know, Deb. I don't know. But I did get a lot of stuff done prior to the surgery. And now it's like you go 100 miles per hour. And then I had the surgery, and it's bizarre. It's like, I don't, my mind doesn't know how to relax.
Mhm.
Um, I thought I would do a lot of reading, and I'm reading the book Self-Compassion, but I'm not. I find myself just doing like ridiculous stuff to occupy my brain, like, surfing the web, or shopping, internet shopping, or just to
Mhm.
keep myself busy instead of just being with myself. I'm finding it very difficult to just be with myself.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay. What's wrong with that?
what's wrong with not being able to do that? I don't have to feel anything. I think that's part of it. And instead of eating, which is probably what I would used to do,
Yeah.
um,
And you're
I'm
not?
finding,
And you're not?
no, no, I'm eating pretty well. I have gained a couple pounds, but I'm also extremely swollen, because they
Yeah.
did fat grafting, and some other stuff. So I'm very swollen throughout my middle section, and I can't exercise yet. So that's okay. I'm sure that will come off fairly quickly. I think
Well,
what
the
disturbs me,
reason it probably came on is because of what your body has just been through. Has
yeah, it's
almost
trying
nothing
to
to do
take
with
care of
what
my,
you're eating.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Mhm.
And I'm not so much worried about that, but I am worried about my inability. It seems like I'm almost substituting, surfing the web and watching stupid TV, um, for what would have been before, food to soothe
Uh-huh.
myself.
Mhm.
Um, so at least I recognize that, but
But what do you think about that when you see it?
um, what do I think?
Mhm.
Well, I kind of beat myself up. I'm not as compassionate with myself as I should be about it. Say, okay, you can watch some trash TV and waste time. It's
What
all
if
right,
you
Paula.
what if you weren't wasting time?
Yeah.
What if there's nothing wrong with what you're doing? Like, what if you're just taking a break and you're watching trash TV? You're deeming it trash TV.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just your thought,
Yeah.
right? You're not reporting the news to Dr. Deb. Just telling me a thought that you think that it's
Mhm.
trash and you shouldn't be doing it. What you should be doing is, what should you be doing?
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
My whole life, I think that's what I do. I put pressure on myself to do more, to do better, to grow, to, you always got to be doing something to make yourself better. And I realized that that kind of stuff is not necessarily going to get me there. So
Well,
yeah, I need
it's
to,
gonna make you feel crappy is what it's going where it's gonna
yeah.
get you. And if you're feeling crappy right now,
Hmm.
it's not because of what you're doing. It's because of what you're thinking. If you want to feel better, you don't have to change what you do. You have to change how you
Which I'm
see things.
thinking.
How
Yeah.
you see things. Because see what you said to me, and Julie, I know can relate to this, is that this is what you've been doing your whole life.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're thinking, I think what you're thinking, okay, I just had this surgery. I am really going to make time for myself now. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to read books.
Yeah.
I'm going to, and that's not what you're doing.
No.
Right. But what if it were like, okay. And like, what if you could like tell yourself, like, hey, if you want to watch a bunch of TV, go ahead. Like, what's wrong with that?
Right.
You just had what you said to me was more extensive than you thought.
Yeah.
Right? It was more than you anticipated,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Like, so what if you could just think about this for a minute. Just think if you could just give yourself a break and say to yourself, sweetheart, you've just been through a lot. This is what self compassion is,
Yeah.
right? Is in chapter 1. And it is so hard for someone with like you or me or Julie to even think that we could allow ourselves to do that because you immediately think you're doing something wrong. And
Yeah.
what's interesting is the more you do these things that are wrong, the more you continue to do them. You don't do less of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't get
Okay.
you with the program.
No.
Like if you smack yourself silly, then you'll stop watching these trashy TV. You'll stop going on the internet and you'll do what I tell you to do.
Yeah. That's not kind at all.
It's not kind. And this is all of our work that we're doing. And you know what? The blessing of the surgery is really twofold.
Hmm.
One, it's part of your healing process.
Hmm.
Two, it's to help you see yourself more clearly.
Yeah.
And it is. And you don't
It
like it.
is.
And you're not liking it.
I'm not used to not being busy.
Well, I think it'd be good to get used to it. This is a
Yeah.
perfect time to get
Yeah.
used to not being busy and just allow yourself to do whatever it is that you want to do. And then maybe from there, because we'll do a model on it, but it's like from there, maybe then you will do something else. But this isn't helping you.
No,
What you've
it's
got
not.
going on right now isn't helping you
Yeah.
because I think what you need more than anything else right now is for your own compassion for what you've just been through. Like, oh my God, sweetheart, you have been through so much. And this surgery was so much more than you even thought it was. Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, how can I help you? And in your mind, the way you can help me is whip me into shape. Like, make me do the things I need to do. Like, help me get with the program. Like, what's the matter with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, let's look at a model. We're going to call it your unintentional model. And this goes for everything in your life. This is just going to happen no matter what, because I think that everything you've been through with this is only here to help you. And we've talked about that before, right?
Oh, yeah. And I think that the cancer was part of that. Yeah.
It was,
We wouldn't be talking today. I'd still probably be going to Weight Watchers and losing the same 20 pounds and gaining it. So
Right.
yeah, I wouldn't be here with you today if it wasn't for all that.
That's correct. Right. Because you really wanted to see things differently.
Yeah.
And when you heard me talking and doing what I was doing, you're going, you know what? You could observe that and see that that's what you needed.
Hmm.
And it is what you need. But you still have a mind that's telling you, I really do think you need to be a little harder on yourself. I don't think we can go easier here. I don't think that's going to work. And you have to
Yeah.
just calm it down.
Yeah.
Like, I know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because your brain seriously is trying to protect you
Oh.
from falling apart. Because in your mind, if you are watching all this trashy TV and you're not doing all these things that you said you're going to do, everything's just going to fall apart. You're going to end up in the trash can.
Hmm.
And your brain is going, well, I won't let you do that. So let's have cookies. And then we go, oh, well, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah, we can't do that. Yeah.
But we can do. But like in the end, you have to have compassion for it, because in the end, what is the big deal?
Right.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with watching? So if what else can we call it other than trashy TV?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not watching that much TV,
I
but
don't care. I don't
I'm on the
care.
internet.
I don't
Well,
care what it
it's
is you're
based,
doing.
what do you want to call it? It's surfing the web. It's um mindless.
Why do you have to call it mindless? It sounds
Okay.
to me like you're actually enjoying it, but you won't
Yeah.
let yourself.
Yeah.
You're punishing yourself for doing it. Hey, let me tell you one thing. The way your video is pointed, I'm only seeing like the upper part of your face. Much better.
Okay.
Much better. So it's like, I know that this is not what you want to hear, but I am telling you that what you need to do is to allow yourself to do this and tell yourself it's okay, because it will help relax you. It's what you do.
Yes.
You are doing it for that reason. Yes. And if you could let yourself, could you actually enjoy what you're doing?
Yes.
It's kind of like, think of it like this: joy eating and drinking. Before, you would drink without planning, right? And you would give into
Hmm.
urges, and then you would tell yourself how terrible you are and blah, 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 and go through all that. Now you have a plan for when you drink and you plan it,
Yes.
right? And so there's no urges involved. And when you do it, do you enjoy it?
Yes.
Right. Because you don't have your brain telling you all the stuff that you shouldn't be doing. You're going, no, 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 I want to do this.
I planned that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So it's still alcohol. It's still all the same stuff, but you changed the way you thought about it. And
Hmm.
therefore, when you do it, you enjoy it.
Yeah. Right.
And
Okay.
you know what's so interesting about that? You don't drink as much as you used to.
No, I do not.
Right. So it's easier to do less when you allow yourself to do it and stop
Okay.
telling yourself you're a mess.
Got
So
it. Yeah.
your
Same
circumstance.
concept. Yep.
Yeah, it's all the same thing, because there's probably a lot of urges involved in wanting to go on the internet or wanting to do that, but it's like, okay, that's what it is. It's an urge.
Uh-huh.
And maybe you just tell yourself the day before, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to
Yeah.
spend 2 hours on the internet. I'm going to blah, blah, and just let yourself. And I wonder, if you let yourself and you felt better about it, if you would do it more, if you would do it less. But
Right.
certainly you would feel better.
Yeah.
So let's do a model unintentionally on watching internet. Now, I can't put on there watch trashing TV, can I?
No.
Why not?
Because trashy. The
It's
adjective's a little bit negative.
it's called a thought.
Yeah.
And we don't put thoughts in the C line.
Right.
See, you think watching trashy TV was a C.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's a thought.
It's a thought. Point your video just a little bit again. You're going down on me again. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Okie dokie. And how do you feel? This is what I would probably do right now with watching, internet, whatever else you're doing. Shopping? I don't know. What are you doing?
Yeah, doing some internet shopping.
What else?
Watching TV.
And I would even put on here post-surgery.
Yeah.
Because that's a circumstance too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to put in that C line that we can absolutely prove?
Sleeping.
All right. How do you feel about all this? See, I'm going to take you right to the F line because it's going to be the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
How do you feel
How
about
do I
that?
feel about that? That I'm
Happy, mad,
well,
sad,
I
glad.
hate you're gonna be mad when I say it, so
I'm not
that
going to be mad. Me? I'm going to get mad?
yeah, you might get mad because it's ridiculous, and I know it's coming out of my mouth. But what I feel is I should be doing something productive, and so
All
therefore,
right. That's the thought. I
yeah,
should
be
be doing something
productive
productive.
with this time off. Yeah.
Can you read my writing?
Yes.
All right. How does that make you feel, sweetheart?
Like
Feeling
I feel
worthless?
a little bit, but that's a strong word.
Okay.
Yeah. Disappointed, probably. Disappointed. I feel disappointed that I can't right now. I mean, the pain and on the pain medication knocks me out and I can't, but I feel like, well, come on, buddy, let's go. Come on, let's get to the point where we can be productive instead of
Okay.
just
So the
being
feeling is
disappointed.
let's just put disappointed.
Okay.
How disappointed? Negative 10's the worst. 0's neutral.
Probably a -4.
Really?
-5. Yeah.
I think it's stronger, but I'll go with you.
Okay.
Okay. And when you're disappointed, when you think off of your circumstance of post-surgery, on pain meds, watching the internet, shopping, watching TV, sleeping, and you think about that I should be doing something productive with this time off, and it makes you feel disappointed,
Mm-hmm.
what do you end up doing? Or not doing?
I end up doing more of the same. Or sometimes, like I pushed myself the other day and took a short walk.
Okay, so you push yourself. That goes in the A line.
Yeah.
Push yourself to move your body when maybe you're not ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I paid for it that evening.
Okay, so push yourself to move your body.
Or
What
I'll,
else?
try to do the dishes or help with the laundry or
Do more housework.
Yeah.
And most importantly of all, what do you say to yourself in your head as all of this is going on? Oh, Paula, you are so wonderful.
Oh.
What are you saying?
Yeah. My family says I'm stubborn.
What are you saying to yourself in your head?
You're capable, you're strong, you can
No,
do this.
no.
Yeah.
What you're doing is you're ruminating in your mind and telling yourself how everything you shouldn't be doing any of this. You shouldn't be doing this. There's something, you get with the program.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
right? And then you do
Mhm.
that, and as you tell yourself and cut yourself down and tell yourself how terrible you are, then you push your poor body to try to do more.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
Such a
Oh
great way
gosh.
to heal, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not really agreeing with me, are you?
No, I'm
And
not.
yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, I
So,
know it's sarcasm.
okay, good, good. Okay, so what's the result of pushing yourself to do more with your body, especially when it's not able, to do more housework and to ruminate in your mind and beat yourself up? And here's the other thing too, that what you're doing with all the work that we're doing together is to learn how to be a body whisperer, which is
Body
not
whisperer.
just being in tune to your physical hunger. It's being in tune to your body.
Yeah.
And your mind is running the show like it always has.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to eat. You don't have to fix food for your mother. It doesn't matter what you eat, blah, 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 blah. And now we're over here.
Yeah.
So you kind of see the same stuff.
Yeah. You're right.
Good to see.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what's the result?
Well, I actually go backwards in my healing.
You're less productive, not more.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. You see that?
Mhm. I
You sure?
see it.
Okay. Then let's do something more intentional.
Okay.
This is really, really important for you because this has everything to do with self-compassion,
Mhm.
because this is exactly what you're not doing. But believe me, when you're doing what you're doing up here, is you think you're helping yourself. You know, if I don't tell you what to do, who will? If I don't
Yeah.
get you back on the horse, who's going to? You know, it's
Right.
like my mom used to tell me all kinds of things about my body and my weight and what I should eat and what I shouldn't eat. You know why she told me? She would say to me, because if I don't tell you, who will? And that's kind of what you're doing. But it's not helping.
No.
You're here to help yourself. If you're here to learn how to help yourself, then let's create a model off of that and call it intentional.
Okay.
So the circumstance is going to be exactly the same. I'm not going to write it all out. You know what I'm talking about. Post-surgery,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Oh, post-surgery, let's put off there too, and we would put it in both, is off work for what, 3 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah, that's part of the C. I'm not changing the C. I was added to
Yeah.
both of them. Okay. How do you want to feel about this? If you could feel any way you want.
Hmm. I want to
Disappointed?
feel healthy and rested and
Feeling.
complete.
So a
Healing.
feeling. So compassionate
Mhm.
is a feeling. Don't write it down yet. What do you think about that? You like that?
I like that.
You want it?
Mhm.
You sure?
Yes.
Or would you rather have a different feeling? You can create any feeling you want. What do you want? What do you want to feel about all this up here of watching internet and shopping and watching TV shows, post-surgery, on pain meds, off work for 3 weeks?
I want to feel like compassionate's a good word, I think. Yeah.
Seems to
I want to
be.
feel like it's all good and, you know, whatever it takes, Paula, to get you to the place of healing and ready to go back to work.
How about, what do you think about the thought is I want to do whatever it takes to help my body heal?
Mhm.
Do you like
I
that?
like that very much. I want to do whatever it takes
Are you
to
on
make my,
board? Are you on board
yeah,
100%?
yes.
Whatever it takes to help my body heal. How does that make you feel?
Um, I need my little feeling list.
Yeah. Bring it next time, both of you, if you don't. I've got it on me. I've got it on me. Yeah.
It
Um,
make that it makes me feel compassion and love towards myself.
does it?
Yeah.
Okay. Love or compassion? Which one?
I like them both. They mean kind of the same thing to me. So,
Okay, well, we're just going to choose one just because really every feeling creates a different action. So it's really good to really
yeah.
put it into one feeling.
Okay.
So you can just choose like,
Hopeful, compassion, hopeful. I want to content.
well, you said love or compassion. I said just choose one.
I know. I wish I had my booklet in front of
So
me.
you don't like love or compassion?
I like them both, but let's
Okay.
go with compassion.
Okay. I mean, are you thinking you want a different feeling than either of those?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I could read a bunch, but I think for now,
Okay.
I think let's go with love.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So in your A line, what do you think you would be doing when you have the same circumstance,
Mm-hmm.
but you think instead you got to do more, you think, I want to do whatever it takes to help my body heal. So what do you think that
I'd
end up
be
being?
resting and eating fuel foods, depending on my family, to do
Oh,
housework.
accepting help.
Yeah. It's a big one. Yep.
And maybe watching TV
Yeah.
and being on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, like you might want to I would just put it in here for now because I think it's just such a problem for you because of your mind. Right. And I think if it wasn't a problem and you would stop calling it all the things you were calling it, I think it would have a lot less power than it does.
Mm-hmm.
So, what will be the result of that kind of action coming from love with the thought that I want to do whatever it takes to help my body heal? And you know what else you could put in there? That I want to be a body whisperer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Body whisperer. The result would be that my body would heal.
You would be doing whatever it takes to heal.
Yeah.
You would just create evidence for it.
Yeah.
How you like that?
Very. I like it.
hmm This is just your work. I mean, it just
Mm-hmm.
shows up again.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you can look at it from a place of compassion and knowing that what you need most from yourself was the only thing you really weren't giving yourself. And now you can.
Mm-hmm.
In the
For
A
sure.
line, it's you can be compassionate with yourself.
Yeah.
You see, the A line's so different.
Yeah, for sure. I like it.
Beautiful. So is that helpful for this time?
Yes. Thank you.
That's exactly what you need at this moment. And you'll always get exactly what you need because you're willing to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it. And that is what we call awareness.
Right.
And awareness is everything. Right? So that you could bring it up and we could talk about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. Right? I knew I wanted to talk to you about something, but I didn't know what.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you knew. So
Yeah.
you just brought me right to it. So you can just thank yourself for that.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks, Deb.
Beautiful. Now we'll bring Julie on and see what she's got. And I'll probably go, maybe a little bit like 10 minutes over again,
That's
just to make sure
fine.
she gets the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So I will, I don't think you have to do anything. I'm going to change role to attendee. Yep. There you go. All righty. And Miss Julie, I'm going to bring you on now. And I'm going to promote you to a panelist. And what you want to do is, if you can, Julie, is you want to turn on your video.
Okay, I unmuted. Where do I see?
You are unmuted, but I don't have you on video yet. So you need to start your video.
There it comes.
There you are.
There it is. Hello. I can even see myself,
Hello.
so I'll adjust a little.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
I see you perfectly.
Great.
You see me perfectly?
I do.
Okay.
And
So
you're
good to actually see you. We've talked for so much and I've never seen you in person.
Yes.
Oh, I bet my coaching will be even that much better.
There you go.
All righty. Okay,
Okay,
so you sent me a lot of different stuff.
yeah, a lot was in that list. Yeah.
A lot is in your list. So if you want to kind of tell me and tell Julie where you want to concentrate most, because you've got a few models here that we can look at that you did. And I think a lot of it has to do with more like with evenings and what's going on with you there.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of it also stems from the buildup in my day.
Okay.
We've talked about that before, where I was able to take and change my model from higher expectations out of myself just till I can do what I can do. I'll do my best. I saw huge changes in that.
Yep.
Sometimes during the day, I have higher expectations of myself. And so the self-compassion is really hitting a really good chord, because the example I gave you in the email was I found myself being very self-critical and judgmental of myself.
What a surprise.
When I had a situation that I should have just looked at it neutrally. I really I was thinking of it and self-reflecting in it and taking it personally, rather than allowing those thoughts to go through my mind.
So give me an example.
So it was an email where our office is being criticized for not being helped, and the individual hadn't even reached out to us.
Right.
But I found myself reacting judgmental and frustrated and upset that we were getting criticized, and I was taking it as a personal criticism.
Okay, so we both know that that's old.
That's old.
Right? So it just came back.
It came back.
Right? And so the only thing that has to happen, and this is really good for Paula too, is sometimes we forget.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then all of a sudden we remember again. All we have to do is come back and remember what we already know, but we forgot.
Absolutely. And the nice thing about it was that as I was going through it, I recognized it, did my better behavior. I did a behavior that I knew was going to be supportive and positive. I talked with the other staff member. I knew I wanted to eat. I knew I wanted to go get something to drink, but I just went for a little walk around the office.
Okay, so that's your A line.
Mm-hmm.
So your A line changed, but what changed in your T and F line that made your A line change? Because it's not so much what you do, it's where you're coming from in your mind.
Yeah, my thought line was as I was going through thoughts, I was realizing this is just an urge. This is so it did I did recognize that I had the urge, and
for what?
To want to go eat.
Okay, so you recognize the urge, and when you recognize the urge, you recognize the thought.
I recognize the thought
that was
that I'm angry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling like I'm being criticized are judged unfairly. And it was bringing up really negative feelings.
Okay. Do you want to model this, or you think you've got this down?
I think I've got it down.
Okay, good. All right.
That model, and what I realized is then at night, I started judging myself for not having caught myself earlier and actually having
okay.
those feelings.
Okay.
And so, really interesting, going through what you went through with Paula.
Yeah.
In that I do much of the same things you do, Paula, is that at night, I'm tired. And I don't want to say, oh, Julie, you're tired. It's okay that you're tired. You've just gone through a long day.
Mm-hmm.
You've had a big day. It's 8:00 at night.
Mm-hmm.
You can just rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm applying that more and more. But I do find that these old habits come back.
And of course they do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not habits, they're just thoughts.
They're thoughts, right.
And they're just well-trained thoughts that have been used for so long that they're automatic. And probably when you're tired, they can easily go down the superhighway without you even noticing they did it.
Correct.
Right? But you still have the awareness that once it did it, you caught it.
Absolutely.
Right? And so when you do that, then you can interrupt the model. So did you interrupt the model, or did you go through, did you end up eating, or?
I ended up eating.
Okay. So your first model is that you sent me. Do you want to work that one? Tell me what you want me to work on with you exactly, because I see this very clearly, and we're talking about a lot of self-compassion with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so you're talking about thoughts that are coming back that you've handled in the past.
Let's do the fatigue one.
All right. So the fatigue one about home from work, early evening, after an evening meal, and satisfied, no physical hunger, right?
No physical hunger.
Okay, so I'm going to do that model, and then you did an intentional model off of that, but we'll see what else we come up with.
Sounds good.
Okay, because the most important part about all of this for you, the reason you're bringing it up to me, is because what you're trying to learn is exactly what Paul and I talked about, which is what we're all trying to learn, is how to allow ourselves.
Yes.
To be wherever it is we are. Wherever it is.
Absolutely.
And if you don't like it, it still means you have to allow it because you're doing it. You're there.
And showing self-compassion that I'm going through it.
Exactly. Exactly. So your first model, I'll just model it the way you wrote it. Home from work, early evening. And actually, we wouldn't put early evening. We actually put a time otherwise, because what you think is early and what I think is early.
Exactly.
May be very different. What time? 8 o'clock?
Let's say 7 p.m.
7 p.m. 8 dinner. No physical hunger, right?
Correct.
Okay, we can put that in the in the C line. Okay, and your thought is, I'm tired from my day.
It's usually when I need, that's one of my primary thoughts. I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things that is happening is that I'm telling myself I'm tired. So it reinforces that I think I'm tired.
Mm-hmm. What else are you telling yourself, though? Because I just have a guess here.
I'm also telling myself I should be doing something productive.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I'm very much like Paula on it.
I think you're telling yourself that you shouldn't be tired. Get with the program.
Absolutely. And that's what I found when we went out with Tim and Melinda out to eat. We were having a lovely evening. I was enjoying myself and everything. And all of a sudden,
that was your brother and sister-in-law, right?
My brother and sister-in-law. So, Paula, what I had emailed Dr. Deb is that on Monday we had gone out to eat. And 3/4 of the way through the meal, I mean, it was late enough. We were all done. We were just visiting. And Melinda looked at me. She says, "Ma, you look tired." And immediately I had this feeling of anxiety and, oh my gosh, she doesn't see that, does she? I am tired, but oh, I don't want to show her I'm tired. I shouldn't be tired. And those kind of thoughts were going through my mind rather than, oh, well, she noticed I'm tired. And yes, I am tired. And then it doesn't mean that we're not having a good time.
I think it's that's an interesting model too. I just put that down as a circumstance
Mhm.
too, because I think it's interesting.
I found it very interesting, and I wanted to make sure that I was evaluating it. That's why I wanted to talk about it, is I wanted to make sure that, am I unraveling this enough?
Yeah. So number one, anybody can say anything they want.
Absolutely.
Right.
And she
So
was meaning it in a good way.
just because she says
Mhm.
you look tired does not mean you're tired. It doesn't mean anything other than that's what she thinks.
Exactly.
Right. So your T line is so interesting because of what you make it mean when she says that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's another model. Do you want me to finish this one right here first? Or you want to just move to this? Because I think
it's very similar. I think we can move on because I think it's all very similar.
Okay. So you want me to go to this one?
Sure.
All right. So the thing I want to talk to you about your first model, though, is I don't think I would have done the model I'm tired from my day.
Okay.
That's not the thought I would use. I think the thought that's causing you so many problems is that you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And you don't have any of that here. And that's why I think maybe you're not getting exactly what you really want to see out of this. Is because I think if you would go from I shouldn't be tired, just like Paula, I shouldn't feel like this and I shouldn't be like that and I should, right?
Yeah.
And what it does is it creates a whole host of everything you don't want, eating sugar. But if you had compassion, if you could change that model into a self-compassionate model, that's what I think would change everything for you, is how can you allow yourself to feel what you feel?
I think we're hitting it.
And I think that's what the work is for you, Julie. It's like you're kind of working around it. I know you are tired, but I think the problem for you is you shouldn't be. And that's where the whole problem is. It's like, what if you should be tired?
Yes.
Why? Because you are.
Exactly.
So that's the only reason I would model it, because I don't quite agree with the model you sent me.
And I think you're getting a more accurate model.
Yeah, so let's do it really quickly because I think it's important. I shouldn't be. And why shouldn't you be tired after working how many hours?
No, it's usually 8, 9, sometimes.
Okay, after working 9 hours, how should you feel when you come home?
Probably should be tired.
I know, but what are you thinking? I mean, you don't think you should be, so I'm just wondering what you think you should be if it's not tired.
I think I should still have enough energy to do things I want to do.
Things you want to do or things you should do?
Both things I should do and want to do.
Okay. So I think we would start with, because I think you're fighting with reality and it's causing you a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I shouldn't be tired. And I think it makes you feel really frustrated with yourself.
Absolutely.
How frustrated?
I'd say a 9.
-9. That's a strong. Right? And so what do you want to do? You want to eat sugar. What else do you want to do? What else do you do when you're that frustrated?
I look for things that don't take mental energy.
Like?
Maybe watching a YouTube.
Hey, Paula, listen to this. Yeah.
Looking at a blog. Things that don't always require, that are passive and don't require me to think.
These are just all thoughts. You're just giving
They're
me
all thoughts. Yep.
You're just telling me
You're
thoughts,
right.
but this is what you're doing.
Yes.
You're watching YouTube, you're reading blogs, But in the A line, you're not doing the things that you quote want to do or should do,
Exactly.
right?
Correct.
Right. What's the result?
I'm not doing what I want to do. I'm not honoring if I'm truly tired, I'm not honoring my fatigue, and I'm not being compassionate with myself.
And you're not getting anything done anyway.
No.
That's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and does that make you more tired or less tired? Eating
Usually
sugar, watching YouTube.
Usually more tired.
Right. So more tired, get less done. That's why it's an important model to look at.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It was Paula's model.
Yeah. That's why when you were talking with Paula, I'm going, oh, this just directly applies to me. This is a perfect example how your group coaching works.
That's right. And so what's really important to see is that sometimes when you're doing your own self-coaching, you can't see your own mind.
Exactly.
Right? Which is why you're doing this here. So I really like when you send me models so I can look at them and I can show you, because the negative emotion that you were feeling was probably, I don't think tired was your problem. I think frustration was your problem.
I think you're right.
Yeah. So I think it's worth, you gave me an intentional model off of that. Let's see what that is. Okay, so you came up with, it's been a full day. I can learn to give myself what I really need in this moment. Do you like that? That's a thought. I mean, I like it.
I really do. I really like that thought. And I really feel like I can do that.
Yeah. So I'm just going to read it, not write it, because you correct your intentional model is, it's been a full day. I can learn to give myself what I really need in this moment. And I'm thinking maybe your feeling is love. Your action is, I will act in a way that is nurturing. So I instead of, when you say I will act in a way that is nurturing, that's actually a thought. It's not an action.
That is true.
So in your A line, it's what will you do? You know, will you rest? Will you read blogs? What will you do? What do you do when you feel like this, when you feel loved by yourself? Like one might be is that you don't eat. You don't eat if you're not hungry.
Don't eat. I actually rest. I go to bed early if I am very, very tired.
Mm-hmm.
I do an activity that I want to do.
Yeah, which could be
like
reading blogs.
Should do.
It could be reading blogs. It could be watching YouTube. Right? You would just put that in your A line. And then, of course, if your thought is, it's been a full day, I can learn to give myself what I really need in this moment. The result was, which is right, what you exactly wrote, I will give myself what I need in the moment. I do give myself. And I would take it a little bit further with that in terms of what I said to Paula, is because what you're not doing is what you need the most, which is to be able to listen to your body. Like your body's loud and clear. It's loud and clear. You know you're tired. Like, tell me from a physical standpoint on tiredness. And Paula, you can do the same thing in your head. Physical tiredness is a feeling that you feel in your body, just like physical hunger.
Yes.
Okay. So physical hunger can go from a -10 to a +10. Right?
Correct.
When you come home from work, how would you measure how tired your body feels from a -10 to a 0? -10 is you fall asleep before you even get in the house.
Yeah, it varies according to days.
Give me an about.
I would say most of the time it's a -5.
Okay, a -5. So it's like, that means that you have a little bit of something, enough to maybe do something that would really help you.
Mm-hmm.
But not something that your mind says, okay, you've got another 5 points of energy. It's just like, you know, eating when you're too making yourself too full, like you're at a +2. Hey, you got another 8 points you could eat. You got lots of room there. Why don't you just eat more?
I really like what you're saying.
So you think about
Mhm.
for sleep and for rest, it's like really when it's time to put yourself to rest is more like at a -2. Like, what if we just use the same numbers? Like, you're way beyond that.
Wow, what a good point.
And I really like, and I know I did a couple of podcasts on the body whisper. It's like you can apply numbers to any type of involuntary physical sensations in your body.
Okay.
Pain, hunger, tiredness, for sure. And there's probably some other physical symptoms that I'm not thinking of, but you don't have any control over them
Exactly.
mentally. But what we do is we try to control an involuntary sensation in our body with our minds. It's nothing.
Push through.
Push through. And that is how we get sick. Because we're not listening. And our bodies are so talking. So it's like your best lesson here is that if you want to have the type of physical health that you want to have, then you listening to yourself when you get home from work is the best gift you could give yourself.
Love it.
So why don't you go from that in terms of an intentional model? And I think that would be a good place to end because it's a gift. Like you calming yourself down, Paula, you could do the same thing. It's like coming home from work, same C, whatever it was we wrote.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The best, it's like, like how do you want to feel? Like love, compassion, and it's almost like
nurtured.
Nurturing.
Yeah, because when I think of those that I love and I'm really caring for them, I'm fully nurturing them for what do they need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wouldn't be hard for you to do that, would it? It's
No.
like, oh my God, especially when kids are little, it's like, oh my God, that my child needs to get to bed. I mean, they don't know it, right? They either may be off the wall. I mean, who knows what's going on when they need to go to sleep? But sometimes if they're overtired, they can't go to sleep. They don't.
Right.
I mean, they want to play. They want to whatever it is, and they're off the walls. Right. But as the parent, as the mother, as the nurturer, that what they need most is calm down, sweetheart. And you get them ready and you put them in bed. Why? Because that's what they need. And that is what you can offer yourself. And that is what self-compassion is.
Absolutely.
And it makes you feel so good if your mind doesn't come in and give you some kind of bullshit about, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be working more. You still got some energy left. Unless you're at a -10, you should be doing something productive.
Right. And not addressing the -2 versus -5 because we've got that whole area. Give ourselves
Paula's exactly the same. If I asked her to give me a number on terms of what her physical feeling is of tiredness right now, I bet it's pretty strong that she's working against. So if you want to nurture, and the A, of course, would be rest, maybe watch YouTube, read blogs. It's like, if you were taking your kid and you were trying to get him to rest, you might give him a warm bath, you might read him a book. Like, how do you get him ready for bed?
Right. And depending
when they're kind of hyped up.
Yep. And depending how fatigued it is, meditation may come into there. Reading, if I'm higher on the scale, I can't read. But if we're more at a 2 or a 3, some healthy reading, some sketching, some of those things that I really, maybe even some simple painting. When I do
calm down a little bit.
Oh, there you go. You're right. I'm getting too high.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make this really like, there's not much here. You
There's not much.
rest, you
Yeah.
read, you maybe watch a little something. You get yourself ready for bed.
Yep.
You're starting with a list here again.
You're right.
Okay. So what do you want to think to feel nurtured?
I want to think that I give myself exactly what I need.
How about this, that because I think that you're learning.
Yes.
So I'm learning how to give my physical body what it needs.
I like that.
Because it is really part of this physical body that we're really talking about, being a body whisperer, and that really paying attention to the numbers. I think for both of you in the next couple weeks is paying attention to things other than physical hunger and putting numbers on them. Like when it's time to rest, especially Paula with you, is really start tuning into your body. Is how tired do you feel? What does it feel like when you're healing from surgery? And like really honoring those numbers. Oh, you shouldn't be a -8. What is wrong with you? It was a week ago. Or you didn't do that much at work today. You shouldn't be a -8. But you are.
You're right.
So
and I like learning. I like the learning.
Yeah, because I think you are. I'm learning how to be a body whisperer. I'm learning how to attend to my physical body. I'm learning how to take care of my physical body.
I'm learning how to take care of my physical body.
What's the result of resting, watching YouTube?
I care for myself.
You are learning how to take care of your body.
Awesome.
It give you something to do for a couple weeks?
I think it does.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and promote you back, take you off a video. Well, maybe I am. Yeah. And I'm going to say a few more words in terms of your homework. So I'm saying goodbye to you. Goodbye, Julie.
Goodbye.
Okay. And this is what I want all of you to do for the next couple weeks. We'll be meeting the first Monday of August. Is I want you to start attending to numbers on your physical body, be it rest, be it pain. Pain, as a chiropractor, I treated people and always wanted to know their numbers of pain. And some people came to me only at 8s, -8s, -9s, and -10s, but the really smart people came at -2s and -3s, and they had a whole lot less problems. So that's something for you to think about, is where are you physically? And then we can talk a little bit about that next time, if that works for you. And if you have any questions in between, email me. And next month, I think somebody else will be joining us. And every month, we'll probably have a couple more people joining us. So it should get to be more and more fun, and you'll learn more and more from everyone as you did today. It's like we're not that different. That is for sure. We are more the same than we are different. And I think the more you see me coach other people, you really see that. And I think that's really important too. So until 2 weeks from now, or whenever it is, the first Monday of the month, email me, take excellent care of yourself, become a body whisperer, and I'll see you soon. Bye.